need to. Gosh, I'm not even ready. I'm not even ready right now.
Whoa!
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Llama Commerce Show. We are unprepared today. That's not that unusual, but
actually, I think we are prepared.
Oh my gosh, we're not going to argue about whether we're prepared today or not. Okay, we've done that before, and I got in trouble after the show.
You got
anyway, today we've got a great show. Oh, by the way, I'm Kurt Theobald. I'm the CEO at Classy Llama,
and I'm Brett Curry. I'm the lead strategist at Classy Llama.
Anyway, so one of the guests we have today is, of course, our trusty friend, the tennis trophy, which we will give out at the end, and he will decide, because he does have a working brain in there, who delivered the most value.
So he always knows.
He always does. Knows. He does. But then he lies by saying it's our guest when he knows it's actually us.
He always knows, but he's such a gentleman. He is a great host.
That's right.
He likes to make people
very
feel
diplomatic. Very diplomatic.
Yeah.
We also have a great sponsor today. Really looking forward to doing a promotion in hopes of dragging some promotional dollars in. Based on how awesome we are at promoting it.
We're keeping our fingers crossed. I think we're going to land that huge promotional contract one of these days if we keep working
Absolutely.
hard.
So today we have a topic that is, I think for the first time, completely dead art. It's completely irrelevant, and nobody needs this at all.
Right.
Right, Brett?
Exactly. Yeah, nobody needs it.
Or at least that's what most people think.
Yes. That is the way this is talked about, or that this is the impression you would get if you sat in most marketing meetings.
It's so old school, it must be antiquated and irrelevant.
Yeah, absolutely. So want to welcome our guest before we reveal the topic. And our guest actually runs another e-commerce podcast as well, E-commerce Influence. And so we're super excited to have Austin Brawner on today. I met Austin in Austin, Texas.
Whoa, okay.
Can you believe that?
Wow, that's a little uncomfortable for
Crazy at an Ezra Firestone event. And Austin's presentation impressed me so much. I said, Kurt, we got to get this guy on the show. And so here we go. Austin, awesome to have you. How's it going?
I'm doing well. Thanks, guys. Thanks for letting me join you guys on the Llama Commerce Show. The name itself just it's my favorite name of any online podcast show. I'll tell you that.
Cool, awesome. We try to make it a little bit spunky.
So
how did you go with it? There's one question I want to ask you guys.
Okay.
How did you come up with Classy Llama and Llama Commerce? You've probably gone over it, but I don't know. I couldn't.
Okay. Yeah. So I wish I had some great story about how we were in Mexico or Peru and we're out in the country and met a farmer that taught his llamas not to spit or something. But it's not true. None of that is true. Not even close. Mm-hmm. We were in my.
I've never been to Peru.
No, me neither. We were in my living room. We were brainstorming. We got bored with our ideas after an hour, and then we started being silly and landed on it. That's about it.
Do you employ llamas now?
What's that? Do we employ any llamas? Is it real ones, like
real
ones that actually spit and have 4 legs? No.
We have some stuffed llamas, and we have a llama costume.
Oh, we have this mask that we tried to create that was like a really classy mask for an event, and I think we went budget on that one, and we paid for it. It's the scariest thing ever. It looks like
a deranged jackrabbit.
Like a rabbit. Yeah, it looks like a rabbit. Donnie Darko. Donnie Darko. Everybody thinks of Donnie Darko when they see this mask, and it's legitimate.
We'll bring it on the next show. It's really scary.
We will bring it on the next show. Oh my gosh, our viewership is going to shoot through the roof.
It is going to skyrocket.
It's going to be amazing.
Absolutely.
I might even wear it.
So Austin, how did you get into the e-commerce podcast show business? Why did you start that?
Well, the reason I started it was because I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to grow e-commerce businesses, and all the information that I was running into was like these podcasts or blogs that talked about how to start a business, right? How to get your business off the ground. And that's great if you don't have a business, but if you got a business and you're trying to grow it to the next level, you've got established sales, you're at say 250,000, 500,000, you're trying to get to the next level, there's not that much information out there. So that's when we got into it and started interviewing people and talking about some of the strategies that have worked for us, for our clients, and just started focusing on those. And that's how we got into it, because it's an interesting level with kind of lacking information.
It is. And I love the topic today, and I want to preface it with this quick note. I got my start in the business with offline marketing, so like TV, radio, print, strategic alliances, and one of my favorite all-time marketing guys is a guy named Jay Abraham.
Yes.
I've listened to like hundreds of hours of Jay Abraham stuff. That may be a slight exaggeration, but not much. My uncle bought me several of these. Were actual cassette tapes, and I'm not that old, but it was like the early 2000s. I was listening to cassette tapes while I was driving around, and I remember my wife would get mad at me because I was listening to marketing tapes all the time. But one of the things he talked a lot about was strategic alliances, but then also referral marketing and creating referral systems. And I remember talking to businesses, and I don't know, some were excited, some weren't, but it was kind of a tough sell. And then now, working with e-commerce merchants, nobody thinks about this. Like everybody.
Well, it's e-commerce. It's all online. It's like, I mean, it happens, and that's great.
It happens organically.
We'll get the word of mouth going, and that's cool. But like actually intentionally creating referral marketing, there's so many cooler ways to generate traffic. Why would you do referral marketing? I think that's kind of like the attitude.
Yeah, or if they think about it, they think, well, we've got the share button, we got the pin it button, or the share on Facebook, or the share via email, and certainly that's okay.
Otherwise, they're lazy about it.
They're lazy about it. Exactly. So, Austin, what drew you to referral marketing? Because you've been doing this a while now. We got awesome stuff we're going to cover today. Why did you get into the referral marketing aspect?
Well, it's interesting you said Jay Abraham, because Jay Abraham's been a big influence on me as well. One of his books, Getting Everything You Can Out of All You Got, has a great section on referral marketing. Studied a lot of Jay's stuff. I came from a background of working with business-to-business clients. We grew a business online really quickly, and we did that through inbound marketing, then following up with email marketing. So I started working with, I wanted to switch from that towards the e-commerce side because I was just fascinated by these people putting products online and selling them and building these really cool businesses. And I started doing email marketing, and I realized that during the customer follow-up sequence, right, one of the best things you can do is automate a process that gets people to share with their friends. That's one of the most powerful things you can do. And so I looked into and I started to figure out the best referral programs going on in e-commerce at the time, and I found the Nomos referral program. I kind of deconstructed it and figured out how it worked, and I started building it for my first couple of clients. And it really worked well. And I think you guys mentioned it's not something e-commerce businesses think about. It's not that sexy, really. It's one of the reasons. And also, I think the other reason is because these brands that are getting a lot of referrals, let's say Bonobos, or a cool brand that's getting people to share on Facebook and email, they don't really want to tell people that they've orchestrated a system of incentives to get their customers to share. It's not really like what they want to talk about. They want it.
They don't want to tip their hand on that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they want it just to seem like, oh, our fans are so passionate that they just care about it, that they're sharing it. They don't want everyone to know that there's incentives and all these things going on to create a successful program.
They only want to create the sense of authenticity.
Yes.
How inauthentic it is.
Yeah, and what's interesting, though, and to tie into this, because I think that may be one of the roadblocks. Merchants feel like we want it to be authentic. We want it to just strictly be organic. We want it to be great service, fantastic products, so that people can't help but share. And that's really only part of the story, because, Austin, I know you got some cool statistics on this, that a lot of satisfied customers would share, but most of them don't. What are those statistics you have? Yeah,
so it's true. There was a really interesting study that polled satisfied customers, and they asked them, you're happy with the service. Would you, if asked, refer? And 83% of people said that they would actually refer if they were asked to refer. But they also then followed up and found out how many of those people referred naturally, and it was only 29%. So there's a really big difference between the people who are willing to refer and the ones who actually do it. There's a lot of opportunity.
The key is then, what's keeping them from getting referred, and if we can understand why they're not doing it naturally, maybe we can find the path to how to actually get them to start referring.
Exactly. So what's keeping them from not referring? There's a lot of things, but mostly it's just not being asked. People are scared to ask. They don't then build a referral program. What's that?
They don't want to feel pushy. They don't want to feel like a salesperson.
Exactly. They don't want to feel like a salesperson. They want it just to happen naturally. They've got this feeling that they don't understand that successful referral programs are built. It's not because of your product. So that's one of the main reasons. And for e-commerce, the reason why it doesn't happen is because people don't think 3-4 steps down the road and understand that and pick the points, the best times in the customer experience to incentivize them to spread the information. We interviewed Sean Ellis, the first marketer at Dropbox, so arguably responsible for creating the most successful referral program of all time. Anyone who's had Dropbox, the chance of them referring is quite high. And what he said is, he said, you just need to, it's not going to work, like referral marketing is simple. All you do is you figure out the point of contact that your customers would be talking about your product or whatever it is, and you incentivize that conversation. That's what happens. Mm-hmm. So the reason Dropbox was so successful is because with Dropbox, you have to be able to get it to work, right? You have to share your folder with a friend. And so basically they incentivize that conversation, and it incentivizes people to download Dropbox. So you can use the same principles for e-commerce.
So timing, finding the best time in that experience.
Yeah.
So if I'm a shopper and I buy something and I place that order and then I get it, when in that cycle am I most likely to refer, and then how can you incentivize that?
And I think it's also incentivizing what already would be happening.
Yeah, exactly.
For that idea, there's 83% of satisfied. They would refer. The question is, to whom would they refer?
Mm-hmm.
All you're wanting to do is incentivize that natural, that natural tendency that they already have, and actually kind of give them that push. And I think there is the feeling that it's inauthentic to do. All you're doing is you're giving your customers a little push to talk about your brand and talk about
They're
what
right on the edge anyway.
Right,
Yeah.
they like you. They want to talk about you.
Yep.
So just give them a little push and give them a little bit more of a reason to do it, and they might actually do it. I mean, it's just the reality. People are busy and they got a lot of things they could do. So give them a little push and help them out the door.
Well, they already, it's not even like getting them to talk about it. They're already talking about you, right? They're already having these conversations. The only ones you get to see are the ones that they post on Facebook or Twitter, right? But they're already talking in the offline world way more than they're posting on Facebook. So they're already talking about it. Just give them a little bit of ammunition to be able to turn the table and bring some value to their friends. That's really what it comes down to, and share a product that they actually care about.
And let's talk just a little bit, if we could, about the Nomos example, because I know you kind of looked at that one and modeled some of your methodologies after that. And it's worth noting, and I can't remember now if we said this on the show or before the show, but I'll say it again, it's worth repeating. In 2012, Nomos grew, 25% of their growth was from referral marketing, which is just staggering to me. But what about their program impressed you? What did they get right?
Well, just to put that in perspective, right, 25% of their growth was coming from referral marketing. For most businesses, like real estate, accounting, all those types of businesses, it's like 70%. All the high-risk businesses are about 70%. It kind of scales down for offline businesses. Something like a hair salon, personal trainers, around 40% of growth comes from referrals, and it drops down lower. So you see around those 25% ranges for these types of products offline, but it's never like that in e-commerce. It's never 25%. So what they got right is they understood how, like, they understood the offer, right? That was kind of the first thing they realized. They put together an offer that was really, really compelling for their customers, and then they didn't just stick with that one offer. Then they continued to reinvent themselves every couple of months with a new campaign. You don't send the same email campaign to people over and over again, right? Or you don't run the same pay-per-click campaign, or like campaigns are the lifeblood of marketing. And what they did is they found a campaign that worked, and then they modified that and kept using it, and then they went into a really dialed-in system that it followed up with people to share after they made a purchase, and then they followed up through an email, and then like the first email was basically letting you know about the program, and then the second and third and fourth emails were all about kind of closing the loop, so that once somebody has shared something, what do they care about after they've already made the share? Like they've shared for the first time, they care about if they're going to actually earn something. So they followed up and they made sure that people were totally aware, and the loop was closed, and they knew what friends they'd shared with, what friends had made a purchase, and how much money they'd earn from referring. Those are kind of the keys of what they hit on, and why they've had some success, a lot of success.
So, Austin, we're going to take a quick break and do our sponsorship. And after our quick commercial break, I want to hear about, like, how do we actually apply this to the merchants in our audience who are going, okay, I'm sold on the idea. Yeah,
Sure.
Referrals are great. Now, how do I sink my teeth into it, and how am I going to measure results? So we'll be right back with you after this short commercial break. Okay, hey everyone. Today we're here to promote Camelback, which is a really extraordinarily...
Are you thirsty? Oh, sorry.
That was pretty good. No, I like it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Are you feeling parched?
Anyway, Camelback.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Good commercial, everybody. Okay, and we're back. Hi, Austin.
That's all you want, Camelback?
It's okay. I'm sorry.
This is the product. If you don't want to have like a gallon of water on your back, then you just carry around one of these, right?
Yeah, but I didn't mean to grab purple today. I just want to state that out loud.
Right,
I just slashed and grabbed this morning. But regardless, it's really smart. If you haven't bought one of these, Camelback. And that is a really nifty little thing that makes it easy. You're not going to pour it. See, look. No.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Innovation.
Water. So good. Okay, and we're seriously back.
Yeah,
right.
And you can't break them either. You can't bust them up. You can throw those things around. You can leave them in your bag. You just toss them.
Indestructible.
In the back of your car. Boom. They're good.
Awesome. You made that commercial break so much better.
Good job, Austin. Thank you for throwing that in. I think Camelback really a promotional contract.
I think so too.
I mean,
you probably have to cut Austin down now. That's okay.
Yeah. Austin, you get a 3% royalty if they buy us in. We start at $500,000 on the deal.
I think we had demand a lot of money up front. That's the thing to close a deal like that. Just demand it right up
before
front.
they see our viewership numbers.
Yeah. Before, yeah. Viewership not important. We'll get to that. Let's talk money first.
$500,000 signed. Okay, Austin. So let's talk about how do we actually how does the merchant actually sink their teeth into this? Like, let's get practical about what's the process that they walk through. And I think it's really important as you're talking through this. The value of having someone help you with this. It's the same thing as paid search and SEO and anything else. You can learn to do this yourself. Yeah. But there's real value in actually having someone support you in doing it, which is exactly what Austin and his team do. But I'd like you to share all of your secrets and everything that makes you amazing, and they still should hire you because it's a waste of time for them to try to learn it all. So go.
All right. So what do you want to? The place to start really is understanding that the conversation that's happening between your customers right now. You got to understand that, because not everyone's going to have a brand like Bonobos, right? That has really cool pants and that sort of thing. So usually people get stuck on this. They're like, "What? My product isn't as cool as these companies that are having these great referral programs. How do I still build a program that's successful?" So you got to really analyze where people are sharing it and start thinking about an offer that's going to make a lot of sense for your specific market. Don't copy anybody else's. You want to come up with an offer that's based on your company and your product specifically. So the way that we will typically come up with an offer, and I'm going to get into like the technology behind this after I talk about the offer, because this is more important. The way we do it is we start analyzing customer lifetime value. We want to figure out what your customers are worth to you. We want to figure out how much you're paying for acquisition of these customers from other channels. Those are what you really need to judge your offer based on. Because if you're spending, let's say, $25 to convert somebody, let's say you've got, just do an example of a sweater company, right? You're spending $25 to convert somebody for a $35 purchase or whatever it is online. You know your cost of acquiring somebody through AdWords and through Facebook. Pick your most successful channel and learn your acquisition cost, and then start working your offer kind of back from there. So let's say it's $25 is what you're paying. Well, then you can split that $25 up and create an offer that rewards the person who is sharing. So your basically customer advocate. You can give them a percentage of that amount of money that you are paying Google right now. Just give it to your customer, and then incentivize the person who's coming in, the person they refer, with a bonus, so that their first purchase it's much easier. So that's how we would approach the offer. There's lots of different ways to create a good offer, but that's a really easy way to kind of think about it, and to give yourself a good example, because the place people typically fail in this is creating an offer that just sucks.
Yeah. So I mean, I know that Brett and I both geek out hardcore about offers. In fact, I just think of offers and then figure out how to make them reality. So it's like, you get a free block of glacier ice, because who doesn't want that, right? That would be amazing, right? So how do I actually make that happen? And then I realize how much it would cost, and then I stop, because that's silly. But I've actually built out products just based on wanting to make a certain offer, and I'm like, okay, now how do I back into that, like make that happen? But this is what Brett actually taught me this, because he's so much older than me, older than me.
Oh man.
But he taught me this, like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. He said he was pounding the pavement about an irresistible offer. And if you can make an irresistible offer, then you're 80% of the way there. Yep. And I love the concept. I'm so glad that he shared it with me. It's one of the most valuable things that he taught me. But like, I'm always thinking about how far can we push it? How amazing can we make it? Can we get the people that are receiving the offer to go, they must be crazy. I don't know how in the world they're offering this to me, but I like it.
Yeah.
And I think it was actually, Brett was saying that you had mentioned it. If it makes you a little bit uncomfortable how great the offer is, that means you're onto something. And I'm like, yes, I've experienced that before. In fact, when I pitch an idea around in my office and people are like, can we really do that? That sounds like we're giving a little too much. And I'm like, Perfect. Let's do it. Right there. Book it, Renkaiser. That's my phrase. I just made it up.
You're going to coin that, and you're going to be famous one day because of it. But I also like what you said there, Austin, where you look at what is your acquisition cost on some of your best channels. So AdWords, Facebook, whatever, direct marketing, whatever it is that you're using, because there's a cost associated there always, that acquisition cost. And what I found to be interesting is, as I've talked about referral marketing and going back to the offline days with other businesses, they'd be very willing to spend $50 per lead on TV, as an example, in that world. But then when we talk referral marketing, they'd be thinking along the lines of, let's give them $5.
Yeah.
I know, people are greedy with referral marketing. It doesn't make sense.
If it costs you that much to acquire via paid search, why wouldn't you spend that much on a referral?
Yeah.
And I think you can blow people away. I actually think it's a really big vulnerability in the marketing space right now that not many people are focused on. That you can really capitalize on that.
Yeah,
so what are some good offers that you've seen? And I know you don't want to copy anybody, and I'm sorry, you may have thought there, I may have cut you off, but so finish that thought, but then also what are some good offers you've seen? I like the fact that you said don't copy someone exactly, but having some examples is helpful.
So some examples, I mean, I think you're dead on. People try to give away like get $5 for referring a friend who makes a $90 purchase.
It's like, or get a free pen.
Yeah, it's like, what? We'll give you a pack of gum, and you buy it for our financial business. It doesn't work, right? So good offers out there, right? I'll talk about a couple of offers that we've put together that have really worked well for us. We have a sunglass company that we were building an offer for. We ran our numbers and kind of decided, after going through and looking at what people were purchasing, that there's 2 levels of sunglasses they could purchase. The kind of like top end, more luxury sunglasses, and there's the basic model. We found that people were typically buying a couple different pairs of sunglasses. So our offer, the offer that we created, was if they brought in a new friend, they referred a friend, their friend would get 15% off. And then when their friend made the first purchase, they would get a free pair of sunglasses. And it was the basic model, basic black. So it appealed to a lot of different people, and it wasn't taking away, it wasn't competing with their core offer, and the core offer being the kind of top-end pair of sunglasses. So this was a fantastic offer, and it worked really, really well. It was one of those things we're like, oh God, can we actually do this? Is this going to, can we do this? It's kind of scared everybody. But it worked really, really well, and for a while we're getting over 36% of our sales were coming through this specific program. So a huge, huge sales lift. And it was actually, there's 2 different things you need to look at with referral marketing. There's share lift, and there's sales lift, and like percentage of people that actually share. Yeah, share rate. So what that means is people that actually will share the offer after they've been giving it. And we had over 100% share rate, meaning people were sharing more than one time because the offer was so good.
And they also made it, and don't miss this, they made it easy because the friend, if I'm sending this offer to my friend, they get 15% off. So it's making it really easy to send that referral.
Exactly. The friend was getting 15% off, and it was a bonus. They weren't. One thing that always scares people is like, we don't want a discount. Well, and I agree with that, right? But a one-to-one, person-to-person discount, it gives. And not only you give something back to the person who's already purchased to you because you're giving them either store credit or like a free pair of sunglasses, but you also give them a little bit of like prestige because they are the only one that has the coupon that they can share with their friends. So it's a win-win. And instead of spending your money and just throwing it at Facebook or Google, and like you said, people are willing to spend $50 on TV, give it to your customer. They're like, you're rewarding them. It's a way better way to go about it. But there's so that's one example. Depending, and that works really well if you have a low number of SKUs, maybe giving away product. You can also, I like to do something where it's based on store credit. So if you have a high number of SKUs, they can give something to you can give store credit to like a friend can refer their friend and give them, let's say, $20 of store credit on their first purchase of $50. So it incentivizes a purchase for the new person to come in, and then you also would give $20 store credit to the person who referred their friend. So both sides are getting $20 store credit, and it's great because you're not discounting, you're giving store credit, and the advocate, the person who's really already a huge fan of your brand, then has $20 of store credit in there that they can use to purchase something, and ideally you set it up so that $20 goes directly back to like a $50 or $60 purchase, and it just kind of fulfills the cycle of them purchasing more, they share more, and it works really, really well.
Awesome. Well, Austin, we're getting close to the end here, but I wanted to know a couple of things here. How do you measure results, and what kind of, because you got to have a system here. Once you get a great offer and a great idea, how are you going to referral? Now implementing it, just the mechanics of it. So if you can cover those two really quickly for us, we got about 2 or 3 minutes left here.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I will cover them. I will cover them quickly. So let's start with the mechanics, right? Because that's, I think, where we like what people really want to know. So there's a couple different. All you really need is an email marketing system. You need a referral marketing platform, and there's a couple different ones that you can use, and I'll talk about those. You need a terms of service document that you can take from another company's referral program or from my website. We got one because you don't want people screwing you over or trying to game the system. And that's basically a little bit of design work. So what you want to do is get a referral marketing platform. There's companies out there. The ones that really do a great job, a company called Talkable. Talkable has built referral programs for all the most visible brands online, the enterprise level clients. They're a little bit more expensive, but they give you so much more. They give you whatever you can imagine you can create with them. There's a couple other companies out there called FriendBuy, Xstol. Those will all take care of the nuts and bolts of like people, when you set it up, right, they need to be able to share it with their friend, and then the friend needs to be able to click on it, and then it needs to be able to attribute the sales to the original person who shared, and it needs to be able to give the discount to the person who clicked on the shared link.
So just make sure we post the links to those platforms via our social media. So we'll post those on our social media so you have access to those platforms.
Yeah, those will work for you. Those will get you working, and then from there it's all about building the system behind it, which is emails, driving people to landing pages, and understanding where you want people to share. A great place, you mentioned, how do you judge results?
Yeah.
So, and this is a really good question because people want to know is their offer working? What I typically look at is if you think of something called like a post-purchase share opportunity, meaning right after they purchase, drive them to a page or have a light box pop up and ask them if they will share. If you can get 20% of your people to share post-purchase, that means you're onto something, right? That means you're really like kind of onto something, because then you can follow up in email and get people after they've actually experienced the product to share, and you'll have something that works. If you're below that level, rethink your offer and try something new. If you get a healthy brand can expect anywhere from 20 to maybe 35% share rate. Above 35%, that means you're going to grow very quickly. Your offer is good and your product's good. And if you get about,
be careful, it's not too good. Your offer might be too good. You might be losing serious money. Your offer might be too good if it's over 35%. Just be careful about that.
Yeah, no, you actually really would. If you can be around 40 to 50%, 60%, that's like fantastic. That means that you've got a really. It's not even so much the offer. It means that your product is shareable, and people are willing to they like the product enough that they're willing to share for whatever your offer is.
Very good. Well, Austin, I appreciate the information. I think the key takeaways for our merchants here are, one, actually just going through the exercise of considering irresistible offers. It will not be a waste of time. I don't care if you do one lick of referral marketing in your life, it will not be a waste of time, because those irresistible offers can be used across all of your marketing channels and in your core business. It'll actually help you understand your customers better if you go through that process, because you're thinking about what's important to them. Secondly,
think about when someone is primed to give a referral.
So obviously right after they've made a purchase, and then think about that email, how frequently you want to send those emails, and how soon after the purchase, and that sort of thing. But just take a look at those platforms. Austin, how can they learn more about your company? I mean, you help people do this and make this happen. So how can they get in contact with you?
So the best way is to go to eCommerceinfluence.com. That's our website. We have a podcast that we host, and we talk about topics like this, and we also interview people who have built really great programs, not just on referral marketing, but on really growing. It's focused on people who are trying to grow their business, e-commerce business, from $1 million up to $10 million and beyond. That's really what we focus on. And referral marketing is usually a big component of that. So that's the best way to reach us. Head to eCommerceinfluence.com. And you can check out our podcast. Has been coming out twice a week, but we're potentially switching to once a week. We'll see how that goes.
Aggressive pace, my friend.
Yes, that is.
We did weekly for a while now. It's kind of
finally, take a look at those links that we post. Just looking at the platforms that are out there, I think will be very educational for understanding how it works and how you can get involved, because a big reason why I know a lot of merchants don't do things is just because it seems overwhelming. It seems unreachable. They've never done it before. They don't know how to do it. So I know that Austin's team could certainly help with that. And I think looking at those platforms, their websites could also help to remove the perceived barrier to entry with getting kicked up on a referral campaign. But the rewards and the opportunities, I think, are huge if you have a significant customer base and a significant number of new customers, new orders. There's a huge opportunity, and it's a wasted opportunity, and frankly, potentially a really low cost opportunity compared to conventional advertising.
So I actually have something too to give away. If they want to email me, they can email me at austin@ecommerceinfluence.com. I've got a template for the terms of service document. So something I've built it out and built it through kind of lawyers, and it's helpful because you're going to want to have that whenever you're running a new marketing campaign. So if they email me, I'll be able to send you guys.
This is the first time, Austin, just so you know, ever that I've heard someone lead with an offer of sending legalese as their offer.
Would you like a free contract?
It's a great offer. It really is. It's just actually kind of funny.
I think it's because I've been so pissed off creating it for so many times that I'm like, after going through it, I know that it's a pain in the ass. I'm like, you know what? Like,
and it is a real hang-up.
Yeah, no one knows how valuable it is until they've actually created a program, and until they've tried to map out and think about all the ways that somebody would try to like game their system. Yeah. That's mapping that out is a pain in the ass. So.
Well, there you go. So Austin at eCommerceinfluence.com. Go to eCommerceinfluence.com if you want to learn more about how Austin Epstein can help. Also check out those links on our social media and take a look at those platforms. Of course, our one-arm table tennis trophy goes to Austin because he's bringing something to the forefront that is really, really important for merchants to understand. Austin, you don't get to touch it, smell it, think about it. It's going to go back on my shelf, but it's a traveling trophy.
But you can tell your parents, you can tell your friends, you can share that.
I will, absolutely.
And we'll share with you some llama swag.
We'll send you some legit llama swag. You can wear it. You can tattoo yourself with it. Sky's the limit.
At some point, I just want to be able to just buy a llama and just ship it over to you guys. As a that is it.
That is an irresistible offer. We accept. Thanks so much, Austin. Have a great one, and thanks. Really appreciate you being on the show.
And as always, everyone, tune in next time and
stay classy.